I call it kind of our spring of bad luck. And it all began with a freak accident at a movie theater. We went to see a movie, and while we were there, one of my daughters had got up to come around to where we were sitting, and she didn't realize there was such a drop. And when she went to step down, she fell, and she fell right into the seats in front of her and hit her body on the seats really hard, and down she went. She laid on the ground for quite a while, and she said, I just got to figure out whether I can move or not. And finally she said, I think I'm okay. And she just happened to have a doctor's appointment right after that for something else. And so I said, well, should we leave? And she says, no, I think I'll make it through the movie. And she felt well enough to stay. And then we went to the doctor afterwards, and they said, oh, we think you're okay. They took x-rays, sent her home. Then the next morning she got a call that she had broken 3 ribs. They said generally protocol would have been they'd send her to the emergency room, but because it was the next day and she made okay, they let her stay home, which was good because she has a baby, maybe 9 to 10 months old. And so it was good because she's nursing him, so it was good she could be home. And but she was really sore, and she had a lot of restrictions, and she wasn't allowed to lift stuff, and she was not allowed to get sick. That was the biggest thing. She could not cough. And of course, you know, things were better with COVID, but all through COVID, we've been very careful about wearing face masks when we need to wear face masks, and in risky situations, we wear face masks. And so for us, it was no big deal. Okay, you know, we have to be really careful. Not only do we have a baby in the house, but she can't cough. Anyway, 3 weeks later, we noticed she's getting a stuffy nose, and my husband had a little bit of a cough. We asked him, are you sick? And he says, no. Well, then she started getting a little sick. Then we said, let's have my husband take a COVID test. He took a COVID test, and it came back positive. And so we're like, oh no. And she had never had COVID before, so she had no idea how she'd react or her baby. And she tested positive COVID for 2 days later. And then my granddaughter got COVID, and then the baby got COVID, and then I got COVID, and then my other daughter got COVID. So the whole family got COVID. In the meantime, this took about 2 to 3 weeks of the cycle of COVID going through our house. And then my husband went skiing as soon as he tested negative. He's a big skier. He went up skiing for the day. He was so excited. All of a sudden, he comes to the back door with his friend, and his friend is helping him in. And I'm like, oh no, what happened? He had fallen and broke his leg. I had taken him to the doctors. Of course, I had COVID, so nobody could go in with him. We had to keep dropping him off. We found out he had to have surgery 2 days later because he had to actually have some pins and stuff put in. You know, my grandma always told me bad luck comes in 3s. Okay, we're like, okay, we've got 1 incident, 2 incidents, 3 incidents, we're done. And then I get a phone call the day of my husband's surgery that one of his very best friends and one of our family friends that we've had for like 30 years had a freak accident and had fallen down a flight of stairs and died. And it was like kind of some mystery around it, and it was just so freaky. And I couldn't even tell my husband. I mean, it was just a weird time. So I didn't tell him till 3 or 4 days after he had a surgery, and it was really hard for him. And he struggled with that most of the spring. And we're like, we got to take a trip. My kids and I decided we're going to LA for a little while, just getting away. And I pick up the rent-a-car. I get home, and we're all excited. That was when we had those really bad rains in April, just not rain that we normally get. And he goes, come in here. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, oh my gosh. And we had our roof leaking. We had water coming into one of our bedrooms. It was not good. Then we went to LA. We get in this parking lot, and my kids always make fun of me because I'm one of those people who will drive around a half an hour to get that perfect parking spot so nobody can hit my car. People are far away. Nobody can put crunches in because I always rent cars when I travel. So I'm really careful with the rented cars. And I went out to pack some stuff in the car. In the morning, we were getting ready to leave. Went back in the hotel, came back out an hour later, and I go, what's that crunch doing in the bumper? That was not there. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And so then someone hit my rented car. I'm just like, so upset about that, and I'm working with the hotel to try to get footage and whatever. But at a certain point, I said, I'm not letting this ruin my trip. I just said, I'm going to go have fun for the day or fun for my trip, and I'll just deal with when I get home. We get home, and 2 weeks later, same movie theater, same end of the movie theater, and my other daughter, she came in, and she all of a sudden realized she's in the wrong movie theater, did a quick turn, and fell on the ground, twisted her ankle, heard something pop. We have someone helping her into the movie theater. We end up leaving because she was in a lot of pain. So then we take her down to get x-rays. Of course, they tell us the exact same thing. Weirdness enough, same story. Oh, we don't think she broke anything, just a bad sprain. We didn't get to see the movie this time, though. And so then we get home, and the next morning we get a call that she had broken her foot. And that was the last incident in that spring of bad luck. But we hit lucky 7. I guess 7 was our lucky number. 7 incidences, and then the bad luck stopped. Spring was over, summer started, things were better.